He's an entrepreneur, a world traveler. I think he was in Greenland. Iceland, one of those. Very nice. I saw the pictures. Recently took up guitar playing.
Oh yeah,
And
I'm gonna play later. So.
He's gonna do a solo later on. So yeah, and make sure you follow him because he's been in the business a lot of years, has a huge following, does a great thing. Your next event is when? Tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. All right.
Industrious.
So without further ado, here's Jeff DeSouza. Give him a round of applause, please.
I'm like all over the place here. How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Stay nice and cool out there? All right, everyone with suits on tonight, I'm telling you, I bow to you. You're very, very admirable and ready to build your business. So I want to talk a lot about LinkedIn tonight. How many here have LinkedIn profiles? How many people log into LinkedIn profiles every day? That's good, that's good. How many remember the world of business networking before LinkedIn was around? All right, so when you think about LinkedIn today and how easy it's made it for us to be able to meet people, it's just amazing. Now, before I start, I have some cheat sheets here. If you could take one, that'd be great. I have some tips. What we're going to go over tonight is kind of the world before LinkedIn, the world without LinkedIn. And then we're also going to talk about some stats and figures, what professionals use LinkedIn today, and then I'll give you 8 tips. Does that sound good to everybody? And if you have any questions, by all means, just raise your hand. We'll get it going. All right. So the world before LinkedIn. What gadget did people use before there was LinkedIn to keep track of their connections?
Rolodex.
A Rolodex. Great. Right? What was YouTube back then? Right? It was basically a TV. Right? So it's amazing how far we've come since the world of Rolodexes and calendars, and your desk looked like a disaster back then, right? Today, how many people have a paperless desk? Like you're basically a computer and you, right? So another question is, I don't want to embarrass anyone, but if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, don't raise your hand. But what do you think if you're out networking and you don't have a LinkedIn profile? Do you think something's missing? It's like the blank business card. You ever get a blank business card from someone? No? All right, does anyone remember the show Seinfeld?
Yes.
All right. Remember Newman?
Yes.
The postal guy? And he had a business card that just said Newman on it. Now, if you met Newman, what would you think of Newman? It just said Newman. So that's the same concept when you have a blank LinkedIn profile. Now, LinkedIn today has about 500 million users, mostly in the United States. England is probably second. 40% of people log into LinkedIn every day. Now, compared to Facebook, Facebook is 80%. LinkedIn's 40%, but LinkedIn's really the more serious platform. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Facebook has a lot of drama, right? A lot of drama. I never blocked so many people in my life on Facebook, but I don't block anyone on LinkedIn. Big stat now, how many people here own their own business? All right, so LinkedIn's awesome for that. 40, this is a stat I'm remembering on my sheet, so you guys can see if I pass, right? 40% of LinkedIn users are millionaires, or they own their own business. Most people own their own business, they do become millionaires, right? And 71% of people get their leads through LinkedIn, online, versus like 14% for Twitter and 7% Facebook. And you guys will quiz me later, but I just remember that. So, Facebook and Twitter are great lead generation tools, but it really depends on your business too. LinkedIn's a little more B2B, Facebook's more B2C generally. All right, so let's get into the profile. How many people here, I don't want to embarrass anyone, how many people have a great LinkedIn profile? Picture, sorry. All right, so what do you think a good picture should entail for a guy?
It should be
Suit and tie maybe, or at least a nice shirt, right? What do you think of a profile with a beer in your hand? You're going, woohoo! And you have like, graffiti all over you. That's a Facebook picture, right? Yeah, believe it or not, my Facebook picture is professional too. But really, a picture's 1,000 words, right? That's the first thing everybody sees. Now, if you have a LinkedIn profile without a picture, what do you think? Not very good, right? Because you really want to have that first impression. So that's tip number one, professional picture. And that's a pretty obvious one. I don't think I need to say, hey, you gotta have a professional picture. You gotta really believe that. Second thing is your headline. Does anyone know what your headline is in LinkedIn? It's right next to your picture. It's the top. It's almost like a headline of a newspaper. So most headlines entail somebody's job. What do you think about that if you're trying to sell yourself or market yourself? Probably not the best thing to do. What I recommend you do for your headline is think about what you're an expert in. Everybody's an expert in something, right? Everybody in this room is. You have an expertise. That's what you should consist your headline. Let's say you're a marketing professional. Marketing expert. You might even get to what platforms you're good at, whether it's HubSpot or Marketo or even LinkedIn, right? Also, is everyone here a good networker? Does everyone here go to networking events? No. If you do, I would put avid networker and connector, because if you go to networking events, you're a connector. That's the whole purpose of networking. So your headline really should focus on your expertise, because that's how you get found online. Is if you think about a top-down approach to your LinkedIn profile, that's what people look at. So that's the second tip. Have a great headline. Third thing is just summary, right? It's almost like a 30-second elevator pitch, right? So keywords are very important. I'm going to get into the keywords in a little bit, but this is where you're selling yourself. You got to gloat. You have to gloat on LinkedIn. I'm going to tell you that because that's your place to tell people what you've done. To kind of summarize what you offer to your connections. All right, so it should be about 2 paragraphs, 2 short paragraphs, and really just going to thinking a 30-second elevator pitch. That should be where your summary statement. All right, so we're working our way down now. The next thing is your competencies, and that's kind of like an extension of your headline. List your competencies, probably 8 to 10 competencies that you're good at. Anyone here a health and wellness coach? I don't pick on you, Melissa. But if you're a health and wellness coach, really focus on, this is where you actually, what do you really focus on? You focus on nutrition, supplementation, fitness, exercise, whatever it is. Really get into that in your competency section. Now, we're working our way, and I'm moving fast here. If I'm going too fast, let me know. I know everyone wants to get back to networking. So when you get into your where you've been, your jobs or your business, one big thing is I always say don't make that the section where you have all your jobs like a resume, right? Oh, I was like an IT director and I managed 10 people. Cool. What you want to do is you want to focus on your accomplishments. Now, has everyone here had like 3 or 4 jobs in their career? Let's say on average. List the job, list where it is, what type of company it is, but don't take your job description and cut and paste. All right, so really think about 4 things you've done and then bulletize it. So, you save the company 70% on operational costs, or your health and wellness coach, I have made 10 people in the past year meet their goals, which is good, right? 10 people. So really, if you work your way down, that's what you want to do, is you want to be able to set your accomplishments. All right, we're working our way down. Volunteer work. Does anyone have hobbies or does volunteer work? I say that's the conversation starter on your LinkedIn profile, if there is anything. People have already seen what you've done, but when you make a connection to someone, your first thing you always should bring up is you bring up something they've done, whether they've helped out a good cause, or, and I know Ray's joking, Jeff plays guitar. Hey Jeff, you play guitar, what kind of music you play? That's your conversation starter, when you're connecting to somebody on LinkedIn, because you want to personalize it. So don't be shy with your, even if you have a hobby, if you yawn, if you do whatever you do, put it there. Another part of your LinkedIn profile is your certifications. Always put your certifications. Again, you're gloating yourself. So that's where I'm starting to work my way down. Picture, headline, summary statement, accomplishments, accomplishments, certifications, and hobbies. They should all be there. All right, so now you have a great profile. Awesome. What's next? What do you think is next? Make those connections. Now, what do you think is a great start to make a LinkedIn connection? Networking events, awesome. But LinkedIn groups. All right, so now you're an expert at, I'm picking on health and wellness, I'm sorry, because I'm a healthy guy, right? Or guitar playing, or you're a great salesperson, you're into medical sales. Look for groups that have to do with what your profession is, because what you're going to do is you want to network with those folks to learn. This is not to sell your product or service. It's really, you want to first connect with people that are professionals. They're sort of like you, but I would think mentors. So if you're let's say you're a business coach, who would be a good mentor? Tony Robbins, maybe? Grant Cardone. I'm going high here, but it's not. I actually am connected to Tony Robbins, believe it or not. But you want to always connect to people or groups where people are that would help you get to that next level. That's what you want to use groups for. And then the second part of groups is you want to connect to groups where your customers are, right? So if you're, if you're selling needles, I'm thinking of something off the top of my head here. You want to connect to doctors or somewhere where your customers are with groups. The other thing about groups is, even if you're not connected to the other members of the group, you can send them emails for free. And that's another thing. I know a lot of folks ask me about free versus premium. I would start with free initially. If you're a recruiter or if you're in real estate or sales, premium does very well for you. LinkedIn has 4 different levels that you can pay per month for a premium account. And if you have any questions about that, we can talk about that later. But really, groups are big. I have some groups that I have for my networking group, Mass Professional Networking. You should definitely join it after you go home tonight. And what we do is we post events. So my groups focus mostly on events and networking tips. Not much selling. I don't allow anyone to sell on my group, but some groups do. So does that make sense to everybody? So that was fast. So does anyone have any questions? Except for phone. Yes. That was yes, sir.
How do you make yourself most visible on LinkedIn?
How do you make yourself most visible? All right, so that goes back to, and that's a great question, David. When you do your summary statement, use keywords in the first two lines. Really focus on what would attract people about you. Because another thing, and Dave, that's a great point. If you ever Google yourself, I would say 80% of the time, your LinkedIn profile is listed first. And there's a reason behind that. It's because of the keywords that are in your LinkedIn profile. If you have a great headline, you're going to get noticed. Another tip I have with LinkedIn, and I know there's different ways to use LinkedIn to connect people. There's good ways and there's bad ways. What do you think is, I'm going to stop bad, what do you think is not the best way to use LinkedIn? Spam. Great. Do not spam people. And I'll tell you one thing that honestly kind of ticks me off. Somebody connects to me, and then 5 minutes later I get this sales pitch that's like 3 pages long. Please don't do that. All right? So I'm going to go back to look at the profile and see if they went to the same school as you did, or they have the same hobby or the same cause. Bring that up first. Make that personal connection first before you. I always say the sales pitch, it's your 7th to 12th touch, right? You talk to the person probably 5 to 7, sometimes 10 times before you ask them questions. Ask them questions. Don't say, I'm in IT, and I get calls every day and LinkedIn connections every day from technologies I don't even use. You know, ask the simple question, do you use this? Do you use SAP? No, I don't. Good. Why don't we go to a networking event instead? So this is really where you want to use LinkedIn. You want to make that personal connection through volunteer work, through competencies, your school. Another thing with connections is, think about your alum. I met a gentleman from Wentworth tonight. He's out here somewhere. Right? First thing you want to do is you're starting to build your connections. Connect the people you went to school with. Honestly, in the corporate world, I'm not big on connecting the people I work with. Because why do you think that? Because you might be looking for a job. You don't really want to be connecting to the people that you work with today. But really focus on your alumni, your fellow alum, and also focus on people you meet at networking events. Now, I'm hoping tonight, we do the speed networking, right, Ray? Meet someone, connect them on LinkedIn, and then once you do use LinkedIn as a tool to follow up with that person after this event, probably within 48 hours that they remember who you are. Right? So that is it from me. If there's no other questions, I'll be around. Please take a cheat sheet. Yes, sir.
Posting on LinkedIn. Now, on Facebook, we have a tendency of just posting, personal stuff. But how often would you suggest posting on LinkedIn?
I would say once a day. It depends on how aggressive you are. And this is the good thing about LinkedIn. I've not seen too much drama on LinkedIn. And a good question with posting, what I would do is I would post a great article. If you're having an event for your company, that's fine. And share your expertise. If you're a health and wellness coach, share the tip of the day. LinkedIn had something called Pulse, now it's called Articles. That's their blogging platform. Do a blog, I would say every other week. Because really, at the end of the day, what you want to do is you want people to come to you, right? You don't want to go to them. So you want to have a profile that's rocking, and you also want to share content that would attract people. Is that your question? Any other questions? Awesome, great. Now make sure you take a cheat sheet because there will be a test at the next Latino professional networking event, right?
On the 25th.
All right, cool. Thank you, everybody.
Give Jeff a good round of applause.